Hey pals, welcome back to another video. Today guys, we're doing an updated interface add-on macro guide. Basically all the stuff that people ask me about every single day over the last couple months. I've always linked them in old video, but I think it's time for a new updated guide. So that's what I'm going to get done for you guys today. I'm going to try to do the video in a very effective way. I'll try to be pretty fast and like go over the important stuff quickly. I don't want to skip over stuff that's important, but I do want to try to rip through it so it's not extremely boring. I'll try to put some timestamps for you guys on the bottom. But yeah, like I said, just interface, add-ons, and macros. I guess starting off, we'll just go over my UI. There are some add-ons that actually interfere with my UI, so I guess that matters to talk about, but I guess we'll just get to that in a bit. In terms of my frames, what I like to have is I like to have my focus frame down near the center, and then my own frame of my target up here. I think this is just really good to have stuff closer in towards the center of your screen, especially in arena. If you're looking all the way up in the top corner to see what debuffs your opponent has, this is gonna like be far less productive than if you just have it a bit closer. I've done the same thing with my debuffs with an add-on where I've dragged them in a little bit more. Really important that you don't have these frames overlapping with your cast bars. I don't know if there's anyone I could get into a group with right now. Just to show you guys what it looks like in a group. So when you're in a group with somebody, I have my raid frames that go right here. So when I'm in an arena, I have basically my DPS partner, my healer. Our frames are all here. I have my target, my own frame, and then my focus down here. So they're laid out in a way where nothing's really overlapping with anything else, and it just gives convenient, fast information, like good visual information. It's like set up kind of efficiently. My UI scale, this is a setting that I think is actually something I changed that helped me a lot. I actually turned my UI scale on up to 0.8. I never used to use the UI scale, so my UI would look like this, and I was very used to it. But when you actually enhance your UI scale a little bit, it just helps you once again with visual information. It makes everything a little bit faster, and I do think it's worth making your UI a bit bigger. I don't have poor eyesight or anything, but I swear it just helps having a bit bigger spells. But yeah, there's not much more in terms of my actual interface. I guess just the add-ons that like you can use to move stuff. But this is kind of what I'm looking for. The other thing that I would show you is like where I have my Gladius set up. Like I said, if I do Gladius test, once again, to just show you my frames. This is kind of what my screen looks like in an arena. And then I also have Omnibar, which will be going on off at the bottom here. They're coming up through the middle of my screen, but the actual row is going to be down here at the bottom. Usually you won't see more than just this. So when a couple of these things time out, you'll start to see. But yeah, this is generally what my UI kind of looks like during an arena to give you an idea. Hopefully that gives you kind of an understanding of what I think is a good UI. I've done a lot to tweak with my UI over the last couple of months, especially pushing rank 1. It's been an important thing to me to like really get every little advantage that I can have. All right, so now we're just going to go right into the add-ons that I use. I'll talk about each of them really quick if they're important. So yeah, advanced interface options. This is just a really simple add-on. It just gives you a couple more options in your interface. Not that important. Better wardrobe. This is a sick add-on. Once again, not that important for like combat, but it lets you have extra tabs here in your transmogs. It will also show your save sets visually. It's a really sick add-on. I would definitely recommend getting better wardrobe. Super sick. Big debuffs. This is the add-on where if I go up to something and I stun them, you see this huge stun icon right here. It literally just shows a big debuff. It'll do that for like priority spells. That's a really important add-on for PvP. Highly recommend that. Classic numbers. So people always ask me when I'm attacking things, why does my damage font look so cool or whatever? Or how do I get it to look like this? The way that you make your damage font look like this is just an add-on called Classic Numbers. I've been using this for like a year straight now. I'm very used to it. So it looks like really normal to me, but I understand if you have the normal Blizzard text, then that probably looks a lot different. If you want that, it's just Classic Numbers. Next is just details. Obviously just a simple add-on to track information. Down here I have Diminish. So Diminish is actually a cool add-on. This will actually track diminishing returns on yourself and your party members. So like you saw earlier when I was in a group there, I think I can do /diminish. Maybe I can do like a test or something. Toggle test mode. So yeah, if you see down here right below my character, this is actually showing a Hammer of Justice. So it's just showing my stun DR. I like to track stun DR and polymorph DR and stuff like that on myself, just so when I'm in arena, let's say I'm fighting versus another sub-rogue, I need to know when they're able to get a full stun on me. It's going to affect my positioning. It's going to affect my decision making. definitely a high-end add-on. If you're doing really low-end PvP, you probably don't need to pay attention to that stuff that much yet, but it is something to look for down the road. Okay, disable LOCCD. This is just an add-on that's quality of life. Sometimes when you're CC'd, it won't show you if your ability's on cooldown. If I'm in a polymorph, my Shadow Blaze is a minute and a half off CD. It won't show that. It'll just show as if it's not on cooldown. So this just fixes that problem. E-Align, this add-on is really simple. If you type /align, it just puts a grid on your screen. That's all this add-on does. It's called E-Align. You can use that when you're setting up your own interface if you want to make things nice and tidy. Really cool. Gladius, of course, Gladius. I have a custom Gladius that's kind of set up here that tracks everything like I showed earlier. I don't know how to actually link the profile for it, but what I've tried to go for is a larger cast bar. Make sure that you're tracking racials and tracking dispel from the enemy healer. This is all really valuable information, but yeah, really trying to prioritize big diminishing returns and big cast bars. That's pretty important. All right, Jack's Party cast bars. This is another simple add-on. This will basically just give your party members a cast bar somewhere around their name. You can move it in the settings. That's a really nice one to have for arena. If you're playing with like a mage, you need to know what spell they're casting. If my mage is casting a polymorph and I can see that, I'm ready to basically play around that cast. I don't need to wait until the polymorph happens and react to it. I know that he's already casting it, so that's like pretty important. Once again, kind of more of a high-end thing. If you're lower rated, I wouldn't overwhelm yourself with too much information, so you might not need this. But if you are looking to go to the next level and pay attention to every little detail, this is a really nice add-on to have. Okay, Leatrix Plus. So this is one of the biggest interface add-ons. What Leatrix Plus does is it actually lets you move all of this stuff. So it lets you move debuffs. It lets you get rid of these griffins that are on the Blizzard UI naturally. I don't know. It's right here, hide griffins. So if I reload now, I can just show you quickly what I've done. Yeah, these griffins down here. These big silver ones. So yeah, I've actually used the add-on to remove those. /LTP. You can do it with a lot of stuff. You can hide all of this stuff. You can manage your frames, which is the ones that I've done, and this will affect every single character on your account. It's not like when you unlock them and move them. This is very different. This is manually on every single character. It will be done the same. You can move your buffs and debuffs, etc. You can manage all of this stuff. It's a really good interface add-on just for moving stuff around your screen to make sure all your characters are going to have the exact same screen. Highly, highly, highly recommend Leatrix Plus. This add-on was one of the best things I've done for my UI, and it made things a lot more tidy. All right, Nug Combo Bar. Sometimes people ask me about this add-on. This is literally just this right here, this little bar that tracks my combo points. It's extremely helpful because I don't like to look up at my frame to see combo points. Sometimes I want to keep my focus right in front of me. If I use a Kyrian ability, it will also track Kyrian 7-point anima points, sorry, with the little stars glowing around, and then they update properly. So yeah, that's a Nug Combo Bar. That's a good little add-on for putting a bar wherever you want. If you're on a monk, this will also display chi, and other classes will show whatever resources you have if they can be tracked like that. So that's really cool. Okay, we're getting to the bottom here. So we have Omnibar and Omni CD. So these are two different add-ons. Omnibar is an add-on that I showed you guys already where it just tracks enemy cooldowns at the bottom of my screen down here. So if I'm fighting versus a paladin, they use Hammer of Justice, it will show the Hodge CD. Really, really helpful, really important add-on, I think. And then Omni CD. So when I'm in arena and I'm playing with like a mage on my team, Omni CD is the add-on that's going to show me my mage's cooldowns. It's going to show me if my mage has Ice Block available. It's going to show me if they have a Blink available, depending on what abilities I choose to track. This is the add-on that shows your party member CDs in scenarios. You can have it for dungeons. You can have it for PvP. You can have it for world content, whatever you want. Really, really awesome add-on. You can mess with the settings. Super recommend Omni CD and Omnibar. These are both really great add-ons. Now more simple, we have Sappable. This add-on literally just shows when a target is out of combat. I don't think this works on NPCs, but basically if somebody is out of combat that you're targeting, it will just show a sap icon beside their frame. That's literally all this add-on does. It's just good as a rogue if you can see somebody's out of combat. You can know that you can actually go for the sap. If you're playing sub-rogue, you can just press Shadow Dance and sap somebody. Sometimes you can make a sick little play. I do stuff like that all the time. Also, sometimes if you blind somebody as a rogue, combat won't break. Having Sappable prevents you from like committing a vanish to go sap off your blind if you know that they're still in combat. Fortunately, that doesn't happen all the time, but I would recommend this add-on. It's a really simple one, not really any setup for it. Sappable is great. Tell Me When. Tell Me When is kind of like a softcore weak aura. It just gives you little things that you can track on your interface. So I type /TMW to pull it up. This is what I currently track. So I don't track all of these. Some of them are like blurred out, kind of like grayed out. The only things I track here are my Shadow Dance. I just have a big icon that shows up when my buff's available. I track my Slice, Rupture, and Garrote for when I'm playing Assassination especially. That's very helpful. Really simple stuff. And then up here, I have miscellaneous stuff, right? I have tracked if I have Dark Arc on me. This is mainly when I was doing like one-shots messing around. And then I have Blessing of Sacrifice from a Pally and Holy Ward from a Priest. Over here, I think, yeah, just some random stuff. I don't actually use these ones too often. So the only ones that actually track usually show up really simple. So just to give an example of that, let's say I open on this target dummy. If I press Shadow Dance, you'll see this big icon down here. You can also see that I have Slice and Dice up. If I put up a Rupture, it'll show there, counting down the time. But yeah, this is just a nice little utility add-on. It just makes your UI a bit cleaner, makes it easier to track things. This video is not going to tell you how to set up those add-ons, but you can look up how to set up Tell Me When, different auras that you want. Really, really cool add-on. I've used this add-on since like Cataclysm, Mystic Pandaria maybe. Super awesome add-on. Would recommend that as well. It can help you in many different ways. Okay, next up is Trophy GCD. This is just the add-on where when I use abilities, you can see in the bottom right corner here, it'll just show the ability that I use. So if I press Feint, Shuriken Storm, etc., Crimson Vial, you'll just see that down here. And then this is just, mainly this is good as someone who records my gameplay and live streams, so my viewers can actually see what I'm doing, and if I want to watch back my own gameplay, I can see exactly what I was doing, global by global. Really good add-on to have. Not necessary at all, though. Just shows information easier. War Game Helper. This is just an add-on so you can set up little war games, which is where you just go into private arenas to fight people. Weak auras, of course, the most popular add-on ever. I'm not going to go over this. I don't actually really use this for any weak auras. I use it for like one on my mage that tracks a legendary effect. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to go over weak auras. Super, super popular. Reflex. This is the add-on that shows my history in arena. It shows my 3v3, 2v2, etc. You can go over the session. You can go over all the arenas you've ever played before you reset it. I mean, this literally goes back to like almost season 1 here. So lots of data stored in here. You can even see most common teams. You can see your win rate versus different comps. You can see your most difficult team, easiest teams, etc. Just a really awesome add-on to track history of games. So for example, I can see, hey, the last game I played versus these guys, whatever, I got plus 11 points. The game was this long. It was on this map, etc. Really, really good information. Sick add-on there. I've used this for, I think, since the start of Shadowlands. The next one is going to be Jack's Surrender. This one means if you type /AFK in arena, instead of making it AFK you out of the arena and leave and not get any honor, you can type /AFK and it will actually just make you go to surrender automatically. So all this does is instead of just leaving the arena, it makes you surrender inside the arena when you type /AFK, and then you'll still get honor for the arena. So that's like a really nice quality of life. Deadly Boss Mods, of course, super popular add-on. Not going to go over that one. That's like a PvE thing too. But yeah, that is all the add-ons, guys. I know that's a lot of information. Hopefully, we can rip through this last section, the last section of my macros here. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the video so far, I do appreciate the shit out of you. Please drop a like on the video and put a little smile in the comments and say, I was here. And then I'll know that you guys are watching this part at the middle of the video. All right, let's jump into the macros and then we can wrap this up, guys. So, specific macros. I have been messing around a lot with my arena macros because I use arena 1, 2, 3 macros, and I've been introducing a lot more focus macros into my kit that I didn't usually use. So I've got a lot of different stuff here since the first one. This is going to be a huge difference. So right off the bat, people ask me all the time, how do I target? How do I target players? So what I use is I have a Razor Naga X, and then I have these back buttons right here. So I only use 10, 11, and 12 on my Naga. I don't actually like all the front buttons. I don't like reaching for them. I find it really uncomfortable to do that when I'm playing. So I only use the back 3, and I use those 3 buttons with different modifiers. So if I just press the 3 buttons, that's what these spells are on the side here, and that's literally just target arena 1, 2, 3. That's how I target people in arena, target arena 1, 2, 3, etc. So if there's like a rogue at the top and I press target arena 1, it targets the rogue. That's all I do. If I hold down shift and press the same buttons, then we get to the next row, the Shadow Blades icon, and this one is going to set them as my focus. So regular button, target 1, 2, 3, hold down shift, focus 1, 2, 3. Now, if I hold down control, this used to be blind arena 1, 2, 3, but I've actually changed this to kick now, and I'm not sure if I like blind or kick better, or maybe something else entirely. I haven't fully decided what I like here, but I'm currently playing with kick 1, 2, 3, and those are my like 1, 2, 3 buttons. So I don't really use anything else. And now the way that I would use like a focus blind is basically in arena. I would like, let's say I wanted to blind arena 2, I would just use shift mouse button 11 right here. I would switch my focus to arena 2, and then I would press shift X and blind them with focus blind. So that's kind of how I do things at the moment. I could also just press target arena 2 and then press my normal blind keybind, which is shift E. Like I said, the only value to really doing this is that you don't have to drop your target to like lose damage while you're using your abilities. So what I mean by that is, let's say I wanted to tab target somebody and blind them. I might lose a couple auto attacks of damage while I'm doing that, whereas if I could just switch my focus and blind somebody, I'm going to get every single bit of min-max damage in like a setup, which becomes really important in the big picture over time. In a game-to-game situation, it's not really a huge deal, but this is obviously if you want to have the most efficient stuff. So yeah, anyways, these macros, I'll show you what they look like really quick. The target arena 1, 2, 3 is a really simple macro. It's literally just this, /target arena 1, 2, 3. You just change the number at the end. The focus arena is the exact same thing. It literally is just focus instead of arena. What I did is I put a pound sign with show tooltip, Shadow Blades at the very top. This just means that my focus binds show up with like an icon of a spell. It just gives more visual information. It's not really a big deal. So those are the focus arena 1, 2, 3. And then for the kick 1, 2, 3, I believe you use square brackets. So yeah, search right here, /cast square brackets at arena 1 kick, and then you're going to switch the arena to 1, 2, 3. So that's all I've got for like arena specific macros. And then the focus macros, they're all going to look the exact same. You're just going to switch the spell. So that is a macro I don't even use anymore. Here's, for example, so focus blind. So all you're going to do for all your focus macros is just use this. Show tooltip of whatever the spell is, and then /cast square bracket at focus square bracket the same spell. So you can use that. You can use this for a focus sap, focus blind, focus step, focus kick, etc. Those are the 4 that I use right now. Other macros, I use one for kidney shot. I basically macro in just tricks of the trade at a bunch of the people that I play with. So I have like Sam IM's mage here, Shaman, my main mage partner Dopamine, a couple of his characters in here. And what this does is every time you press kidney shot, it will just automatically use tricks of the trade on your arena partners. So it's really important every time you play with somebody different, you have to switch the name to make sure their name is in one of these rows. And obviously if you're playing with 2 different people, you don't want to have both of their names in here. You just want to have the name of the person who deserves the tricks of the trade buff more, right? If you're playing with a healer and a mage, you want to make sure you're tricks on your mage, not the healer. So that's a really simple macro that I use. People ask me all the time, what's my burst macro? So my burst macro is a really simple one as well. It is just basically symbols of death with my orc ability if I'm playing orc blood fury. My badge, if I have a badge trinket like an on use, I currently don't. This is unchained though. We're not in that season anymore, so we don't even need that. But yeah, it's just symbols, Shadow Dance, and Blood Fury. And people always ask me, can I macro Shadow Dance and symbols together? And the answer is yes, but it's also important to have a separate keybind for just Shadow Dance. The reason for that is every single time you're going to press symbols, you'll want to use Shadow Dance as well, because you're going to be bursting. But not every single time do you use Shadow Dance are you going to want to use symbols. You might just be Shadow Dancing to sap somebody. You might just Shadow Dance to stun a couple people first. You want to really min-max using symbols when you want the energy regen and the damage bonus. So you can make a burst macro like this with dance in it, but you also should have dance by itself on a different bind for sure. Those are 2 of my macros. I have some sap macros here. So this one is a regular sap. This is just a sap that I use all the time. It just has stop attack before and after it. This just breaks my chance of messing up and accidentally auto attacking somebody I'm trying to sap. I don't know if this actually does that much, but it's like it's a placebo, whatever. Doesn't hurt to have. And then here is a super sweet macro my mark for death macro, or I'll show you my other sap macro really quick. So the other sap macro, this is a tab target one from stealth. Should be somewhere on here. So this one, it's just gonna basically, if you have a target, it's going to clear your target, and then it's going to target an enemy that's closest to you, and then it's going to cast sap, and it's just going to spam repeat that sequence every time you spam press it. So if I go in stealth and I'm spamming it like this, as you can see, it's just spamming tab target, and it's spam dropping my target. So if I turn around, you can see I even have no target. So what you do is when you walk around in stealth, you just spam this over and over, and if you ever walk on top of somebody in front of you in stealth, it'll cast sap on them right away. So this is a super good one. Now, one of my favorite macros, Kelvish actually gave me this one a long time ago. This is a marked for death macro, and in arena, sometimes you'll go to cast mark for death on somebody, but they actually will LOS you as you press it or something like that. This macro will basically target every single person in the arena on the enemy team, and it will cast mark for death at all of them. Because when you use this ability, it doesn't actually matter if it hits the target that you're going to stun. It just gives you combo points. That's all it does. It says cooldown resets if the target dies. Obviously, that's not going to be a thing in arena, right? So if you mark for death and this goes off on anybody, this is super good for you. So this is like a super macro that can make sure your mark for death will always go off, because there's been a lot of times in the past where I'll mark for death and it will be somebody will be right around a corner, and then I'll accidentally kidney shot them with like 2 combo points, and you really want to avoid that. So yeah, super nice macro here. I have 2 macros for my trinkets that I use. These are literally just /use 13 and /use 14, just with a # show tooltip. So it just shows whatever trinket. So let's say if I want to switch my trinket from a resonator grenade to an Aegis, then it will just show up as my Aegis here, and it will switch for me automatically. Really useful macros. I have this on all my characters. It just makes the game way easier when I'm switching my macros around, or my trinkets, sorry. Other macros down here, I have one for disarm. The reason I have a macro for disarm is because whenever I switch my PvP talents and I'm not playing it, sometimes it will take disarm off my bar. So I figure if I just keep a dismantle macro on here, it'll be here all the time since I don't use any other spells there. If I'm playing dismantle, it'll show up, and if I'm not playing it, it won't show up. So it's just nice to have there. It was getting removed from my bar, so that was just to fix that problem. What other macros do I got? Focus sap. We already went over the focuses: focus step, focus kick, focus blind. The arena 1, 2, 3, kick 1, 2, 3, focus 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got 2 more up here. So I have a mouse over shadow step. This is just a sweet macro. We're gonna go ahead and use it on this guy. All this will do is if you put your mouse over something and you press it, it will shadow step. So if I mouse over this guy and shadow step, boom. Mouse over the target dummy, shadow step, boom. That's a nice keybind to have. Really good macro. Looks like this. And then I have a poison macro. So I use this on my rogues. All this is if your Venthyr has the Mad XD, but it's just 2 lines of your poisons being cast. So /cast wound, /cast crippling. You just spam the macro twice in a row, and then it just puts your poisons on for you. Just a little quality of life macro. That looks like it's everything. I'm going to double check, make sure I didn't miss anything crucial, but that is basically all you need to know, guys. That is all my current updated macros, interface, add-on. I didn't want this video to drag out super long, but it is a lot of information, so I thought it was important to be, instead of being, what's the word? I was more afraid of not giving information than I was of being boring. So I'm really sorry if you guys got bored during the video, but I hope you guys don't have any questions. If you do, though, leave them in the comments below, or come to my live stream, twitch.tv/Palumor. I'm trying to stream every single day. Have been doing it for a very long time, off and on. But yeah. Much love. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this video could help you. And yeah, I guess I'm just excited to see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great day, night, morning, whatever it is. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.